Someone say hello.
Hello, Master.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, Master. Master.
Ah, chaos.
Was it that caused you such pain? I will take care of you for you.
Ah, delightful chaos, delightful chaos. Yes, we can be heard. Excellent. Well, here's what I was saying just a moment ago, completely silently. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and today we are playing My Life with Master. This is a game that parodies all the glorious villain tropes you find in Universal horror movies, Hammer horror films, and such. It takes place in an unspecified Central European town around 1805 or so, and the PCs are all minions trying to help their master further their evil plans. Now let us go around, now that we can all be heard, introduce everyone, and find out who they are playing today. Let us start with Charlie. Hello.
Hello, Master. It is me. I have a feeling we did this sometime before.
No, that's just a false flutter there. That didn't happen. Not at all. Not at all.
I'm sorry, Master. I'm easily. I am Charlie at First from Fire. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Stormy Sunday, the minion of Master. I have a few things that make me a little strange. Oh, I can now hear myself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I can hear an echo here, which is... Hello? Testing? No. No, I'm no longer hearing an echo.
Okay. So the things that make us Stormy Sunday strange, I think I said Sunny Sunday. She's definitely Stormy Sunday. A little bit strange is she's only happy when it rains. And she can speak to all animals, except insects and arachnids and bugs.
Indeed. And let us continue around our clock face to Wild. Hello.
Yes, hello. I am Wild Engineer. Call me Wild. I am playing Bilgor Tashi. I am quite a misfortunate soul. Misfortune just seems to follow me around wherever I go. I always seem to be the most unlucky person you'll ever find. Unless I'm around some friends of mine. And I can find people's precious items, but only when in my dreams.
Yes, excellent. Sort of dream watching. It's a very good thing. And continuing around to Jib.
Hello, Master. I am Eli. I am happy to be here to please and serve Master.
I am Jazz's Blues, he, him. And you can find things that I do elsewhere, but Jim put stuff up, so I'll leave it at that.
Righto. And finally, Val.
Hey, it's Val, also known as V Fergie. My pronouns are they and them. I'm playing Teacup. They are a minion of the Master, and they're inhumanly strong unless it's daylight, and they can seem and carry and it has a problem emphasizing with emotions unless you're drinking tea, and they really enjoy collecting teacups for it.
Excellent. Good. Wonderful. This will be delightful. One thing I do need to mention, though, this is a comedy game, but it's also very much about people having power over other people and being commanded to do terrible things. So just so you folks will know, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for you, any of the players can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens that you're okay having in the game, but you don't want a graphic description of it, type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if you're in the midst of intense role-playing and you think that we might be worried that you're really upset out of character, you can put an O in the chat to let us know you're doing okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we say or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond and just to that and just let us know we're still doing okay. While the characters are supposed to be living tortuous lives, we just want to make sure that that doesn't happen to the players. So we can all relax and have a good time. So I think we should go into just the descriptions of kind of how we're doing this. I'm going to go over some details here. just about the game itself. This, as I believe I may have said, this is set in an unspecified Central European town. On or around 1805 or so is the default setting. One of those towns, as I've been enjoying to say all week, where they probably regularly have sales on pitchforks and torches. So there are you have these this master who has set up shop in town. And these minions who go and do his bidding. The sort of, if one might say, objective to this is that there is a sort of a story curve to this, whereby eventually, quite possibly, one of these minions is going to find enough human connection with others that they are going to be able to resist the master's commands and overcome him, and so in fact, so one of these minions by the end of this may betray the master, and slay him where he stands, and so there's a whole mechanism for that at the end game, but there are also a lot of other things that happen to characters individually in the epilogue, depending on where their stat balance is. Everyone is starting out with a self-loathing of 3. That's one of their stats. Is one of their stats they use when they do horrible things to people. And a weariness of 0, but that's something that can potentially go up as failure happens. And I'm going to be trying to keep track of that through the little charts that I've got here in Roll20. And 2 points of love, and that should be distributed 1 to each of your connections that you have. You each have a connection with a townsperson, and we're gonna just sort of be exploiting those as time goes on, and just kind of see what happens. I meant to write down a list of chores and various other things to give folks, but we're just going to wing it. We'll see how this goes. The master in this case is I think what I went with is Professor Caravelle. It was a little while back that he moved into this old abandoned theater and has been building these this odd sort of device in there, and strange lights have been coming out of the theater, and it seems as though he's collecting lots and lots of objects in these strange metallic boxes that he attaches to this machine that emits all manner of lights and looks kind of like a projector. We'll be getting into the specifics of what these things are, I think, as we go. So I'm going to turn on some ambience here so that that's available to us, should we have that in the background. And so let us see. Let me quickly, before I get started, pull up my little reference cheat sheet here that I put together, so that I can have that in front of me whilst all of this is going on. Okay. We're going to start out that this is generally, by the way, when we get into rolls, it's usually going to be it's a one roll resolution thing for an entire scene, typically. But we're going to be playing kind of fast and loose here, and we just see what happens. So, actually, and also before I start slipping into the madness that is this character, are there any questions that anyone wants to ask Jim before I become someone else? All right. So, the minions of Professor Caravelle are gathered in the little area in front of this old stage that is at the edge of the front of the theater, and has been awaiting as the master steps out and gestures one of them to wheel something out. Who comes and wheels the thing out?
Oh, I do, Master. I've got it.
So it's going to be a large wide object, or a large-looking wide object, at least from one side. Who do we see wheeling this object out from backstage?
Oh, Teacup can help do this.
So perhaps two of you are going and getting it. It's not very heavy, but what does the assuming there were an audience, who would the audience see as they're coming out? What do they look like?
Oh, I think Teacup is at one end and Eli is at the other, and we're trundling it out together.
Right. And describe what, if you would, what does Teacup look like?
Teacup is basically very large. Looks like about like a bulldog type body shape, of big upper body, but definitely looks like they've skipped a leg day. So yeah. It's kind of, type of thing, and kind of malformed, and wears like a little one of those cowls that kind of covers the eyes and everything, and so yeah.
Nice.
So yes.
And what does Eli look like?
Eli is somewhat hunched and misshapen. Has a some kind of deformity that twists his back. He is mostly bald, but with this like scraggly wisps of hair here and there, and his face is kind of lumpy looking.
Nice. So the master has not stepped out on the stage yet, but sort of here from the back. Someone man the projector, would you?
I'll do it, Master.
All right, and Stormy runs over to this device that's been sort of thudded down. These chairs have been sort of pulled aside, and in the middle of sort of where the audience would be, there is this large box-like thing with a lot of tubes and cables running off of it. And who do we see? What does Stormy look like?
Stormy looks like she's wearing a classic French maid's outfit, except it's in pink and red. And on her head, she has a hairband, but attached to it, there's some tinsel that's just been wrapped around, and it kind of looks like strange antenna just coming off her head. And sparkles.
Bilgar, fetch the sample, would you? We need to put it in place.
Yes, of course, Master. Sorry for being late.
Let's go get it! There is a on a side table. There are a number of little objects, strange objects, household objects. There are a couple of toys and a couple of tools, and sort of little bric-a-bracs. So Bilgor runs over to get one of those. What does Bilgor look like?
Yes, well, Bilgor he has very unkempt hair. Because obviously he tried to straighten it out, but for some reason it just wouldn't straighten. He has rips in his clothes. He has a limp, not because it doesn't seem permanent, but like he somehow twisted his ankle on his way here. And he probably, while going to the table, trips on some unseen crack. Sorry, Master, of course, very quickly.
What object do you select from the table?
I think the first thing I pick is a snow globe.
Snow globe, excellent, good. Okay, there's this wide sort of plate that's next to the projector, and you know that's where you need to put it. The master comes out onto the stage. Oh, hang on. The master comes out onto the stage. He has long hair that's going all over the place, and he's wearing a long burgundy coat, and is very much and sort of a vest. It looks like a vest, trousers. It looks like it was a very nice suit at one time, but no longer is quite as nice. It's from a slightly older period, so the backs, the tails are a little bit more tapered, I think, than is the fashion currently. And so he comes out, and he looks over. Hurry! Why don't you get it on there?
Yes, of course.
Excellent.
Careful! Be careful, it's very delicate.
Oh, I think we'll be testing that delicacy out. Now, he has a sort of a pointed stick basically in his hand. It's a long, sort of looks like a sort of a pool cue type thing, sort of pointing instructional device. And he says, "Right now, you two, pull that curtain down off the front of it, would you?"
Right away, master. Right away.
Yes, master. Yes.
And you slowly reveal it's this gray, it's basically like a gray scrim. Essentially, it's a gray, it's a sort of flat piece of fabric that has been bound very tightly between these two poles that are on wheels. And sort of a setup for a screen, essentially. And he says, and once Bilgor places the snow globe onto the plate, he says, "All right, Stormy, throw the switch."
Master?
Yes.
Stormy is honored, master. Is it like a giant lever, or is it
There
like
is
a little light switch?
There is a giant lever, but there actually is a smaller switch next to it.
Okay, so she reaches up as if she's gonna flick this giant lever, and then she kind of drops and just flicks the switch.
Yeah. Excellent.
I did it, master. I turned it on.
So these arcs of electricity flow through the snow globe, back and forth, coming up from this plate, and for a brief moment, you hear this sound, and you see projected onto this screen for a moment. You see it looks like someone just visiting a very large city and going into with their child, going into this store and reaching for this globe and looking down at the child and smiling. And then as Bilgor, you notice as this is going on, the water inside the snow globe is boiling. And after a moment, it explodes, and it all stops, and the whole thing stops, and there's sparks are flying from the projector, and as it's not going.
Master,
He picks up he jumps down from the stage. He's picked up the sort of tarp that was covering the screen, and he runs up the aisle to the projector and he beats it. He starts beating it out. He throws and it's a very small fire. He puts it out pretty quickly. He just tosses it to the side. Memories not
What did I do wrong, master?
The memories are not fresh enough, not visceral enough. We need to harvest. In order to harvest these memories, we're going to need something special. This environment is still not completely ideal for what we want. It's very
Master.
critical.
Master, what about birthday cake? That makes everything special. We'll go with the memory.
Have you had
memory?
Ah. Have you had any birthdays recently? Do you recall?
I don't remember, Master.
No, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Perhaps. But I think that there is a certain way we can harness the psychic waves more appropriately. Yes, they need to be
What is
eased
it,
into
Master?
the machine. I have it, yes. I think I have it. Going to need a few things. First, he just turns and reaches with his pointy stick, points at, seems to be just sort of deciding, and then he points, raises it, points down, teacup!
Yes, Master.
I want you to go to the town hall when no one is there and collect their pipe organ. They have an old pipe organ in their basement.
Pipe organ and basement. Okay.
Go and fetch it. Now, do you wish to resist this command?
Sure, they'll try.
Okay. If you wish to resist the command, then in order to do that, you are rolling love minus weariness. So you're rolling 3 d4s. It's a regular roll.
Okay.
So just the regular roll button. And you're rolling versus. I'm going to roll. You're going to roll 3 dice.
Okay.
And I will roll against that. I'm going to roll the fear, which is 4, plus your self-loathing, which is 3. So I'm going to be rolling 7 dice.
Oh, this is gonna go real well.
Of course it is. Okay, you got it. You got a total of 6. You never know. But I got 7. So, he said, so you are compelled to carry this out. You will have to do so for at least, and doing at least 1 die roll in the service of it, after which you will no longer feel the compulsion. But after that, so he's given you that assignment. We're going to need something special to use. We need better memories. Now, yes. The rest of you go out amongst the people, find out something that someone holds precious, and obtain it from them.
Like a secret, Master?
If there's a physical object that secret is bound up in, that could work. So, this is a thing we must test. We must find out. Do any of you wish to resist this order that the Master has just given you?
Master is good.
Must I go out by myself, Master?
You think you cannot handle it?
No, I can handle this.
Good. Yeah, if no one wants to resist, then you don't have to roll, but it's just up to you. And
Was Eli resisting?
I was going to resist, but I'm going to resist because I don't think that bringing items is going to solve the problem for Master.
okay.
I think the wrong answer. So that's why I'm going to resist.
Okay, excellent. So you're gonna roll 3 dice.
What? All right, Daffy computer, quit that.
And the way that this the mechanics here work is that we drop any 4s that we roll on these d4s that we're rolling. They're all d4s. I got another 7. Look at that.
I
And,
think I've tilted towards Master.
yeah, so you are compelled. You are compelled.
No,
Anyone who doesn't resist is compelled as well, but it's how it goes. So off you all go into the town, and you do these things. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm just going to see what order shall I do this in. Capriciously. I think capriciously is the best way to do this. So let's see. I'm gonna go. I'm going to start with. Let's start with Bilgor. I think that'll be interesting. What are you doing?
I guess Bilbo would walk through the town. See, it's not nighttime, is it?
I don't know. It's a good question. Let's see. I'm going to roll a die to determine if it is daytime or nighttime. 1 is daytime, 2 is nighttime. It is daytime.
Nice. Okay, then Bilbo would go to the market center to see what he could find. He would promptly sniff at the flowers and get stung by an errant bee.
Excellent. Yes. So you're kind of casing the marketplace, looking for someone to basically that you can use, and yeah, I'm going to need to write down a couple of notes here, but as we are going on, let's see. So this will be. I'm going to count this as committing an act of villainy against NPCs. So you're going to roll the fear level, which is 4 dice, plus your self-loathing, which is 3 dice. And I'm going to be rolling reason.
Just a straight roll?
Yeah, it's just a straight roll. There are ways in which, and I'll get into that in just a moment. Let's do the roll. Reason is 2. So let's see. You did actually no. You should get more than 3 dice there. Go ahead and roll 4 more dice. That's the fear. You get to use the master's fear level for this. So I saw you only rolled 3. So go ahead and roll 4 more dice there. There you go. So you've got a total of 7. And reason right now is 2. Nothing. Okay. So yes, you very quickly are going to, as you're just sort of hunting around, stumbling over things, getting stung by bees, you find you are going to find something that belongs to someone actually pretty quickly. Let's see. Yeah, you see someone, and this is in the marketplace. So there's a. You see someone sort of sitting and working on something. Actually, I need to use existing NPCs real quickly. That'll probably help. Yeah. So you see, there's an old gentleman, an older gentleman, just sort of who's got sort of ragged white hair and smells terrible. He's wearing these looks like he's been out fishing. He's got his little, very rinky-dink little stand. But up in the back of the stand, there is a fish that he has mounted that looks like it's stuffed and mounted. A really big fish. That it's you know that this guy doesn't have enough money to possibly have this done ordinarily, but apparently it looks like, as you see his interactions, as he's sort of just being very kindly toward people, you see that is seems to be something that people comment on, and he's like, oh yeah, I caught that one ages ago. It was wonderful. It was. We had such a good time with that. So the last time I got to go out with me kids, and we caught a big one, a real big one. So you see that kind of thing could be perfect. And so you have located this, and since we're doing it, this is one roll. If you would like to make off with it, you may.
Yes, okay.
So how do you do this?
So what's going to happen is, going to see him doing this. I will, as I'm reaching for the trophy, I immediately trip over something, both knocking into the stand while knocking the trophy down. Everyone is staring at me as I am clutching the giant fish, and I am attempting to run away.
Okay. There is so much chaos kicked up as the whole stand pretty much comes crashing down, and people are like, trying to get the fish. There's a big muddle. Folks seem to be pitching in to try to help pretty fast, because they seem to like this old guy. But as this is happening, you easily just sort of quickly scoop it up and race out. And it doesn't seem like anyone's noticed you. So you have successfully performed your mission. And we shall move around to Eli. What are you doing?
Misshapen and unpleasant looking as Eli is, people tend to shy away from me. So I try to move around without people actually noticing that I'm there. But I am actually looking for someone who is. What I'm specifically looking for is someone who is making something for someone else. For example, someone who is ideal. An ideal would be somebody who is making a doll for their child or something like that. That would be ideal. But I'm looking for anyone who is making something for someone else.
Okay. We're going to go again. This will be active villainy. So again, it's the fear level, which is 4, plus your own self-loathing, which is 3, so a total of 7 dice. Okay. Yeah, 13. That's not bad. And again, I'm just rolling reason because this is villainy. This is just regular villainy, not violence. And I got 2. So, yeah, you're going to find something. You're definitely going to find something here. Let me just write this one thing down real quick. Excellent. Okay. All right. Yeah. So... yeah, there is a, another old man. This town has a lot of old men in it. See him just sort of, what part of town do you go to for this? This is a, sort of slightly just one step above. It's basically a village, but it's,
do they have a market square?
They do have a market square.
I'd be looking around the edges of the market.
So shortly after, there's this apparently big fish spill, and everyone's sort of going crazy. Sort of, you take advantage of that, and there's this little old man just sort of sitting in a doorway, and you can see he's got a cane lying next to him, and he seems to be blind. But he has this series of little wooden icon things, little wooden statues next to him, and he's sitting and he's chatting with a little girl, sort of smiling, and he's whittling this little figure out. It looks like he's making he's whittling a sheep. Little effigy of a sheep.
Okay.
For her.
And
if you would like to make off with that, you may.
I will absolutely make off.
How does that happen?
I think that while the blind man is whittling and the little girl is talking to him, I think Eli just kind of pops up kind of out of nowhere.
I don't know why people are always so surprised to see me. I just walk. Yet they always seem horrified that I've appeared. I don't know why.
And the guy who's this little girl was sort of reacted that way and said, "Now, dear, we must not worry about judge other people for their appearances." Yes. How are you?
Oh, I'm quite well, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lovely sheep you're making.
Oh, thank you very much. It's for dear Abby here. Dear Abby. Dear Abby. She gives me such good advice, and I thought I would give her something in return.
Looking at the little,
Oh, you're a shepherdess. Do you take care of the sheep?
She just sort of she doesn't say anything, but she just slowly sort of just looks at you. She just sort of nods slowly.
That's a fine thing to take care of sheep, isn't it?
She nods slowly. And she's kind of backing away a little bit.
I would probably move closer and, just enough to, be uncomfortably close.
Excellent. So you eventually get it. So you're enough in between the two of them that she can't necessarily see what's going on. And as you do note a point at which he seems to finish and put it down.
Okay.
And
Just
sort
kind of
feeling
convenient,
around
scoop it
for
up.
something else. Yeah.
And then,
It was lovely talking with you.
And she just sort of has her eyes wide. She just sort of nods slowly.
and then I'll just kind of walk away.
Excellent. So you've got it.
Yep.
So you were successful there. We're going to go around to Teacup. What are you doing?
Teacup is trying to, as stiffly as they can, make it down to the town hall so they can go to the basement and get the organ. So, yeah.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
All right. The town hall is... It's still... The market's still open around now, so it's... So the town hall is probably still got some folks in it, but I'd say it's in sort of later in the afternoon, so probably not too many folks are still working there right now. We
Okay.
have like a clerk there, and that would probably be, and maybe an official, and that would be probably about it, as far as that goes.
Okay, and...
So there's openings. I should probably describe. You're sort of casing the joint, I guess.
yeah, totally. And do I need to roll the 7 type of deal?
Well, let me see.
Okay.
You're gonna have. Let's describe a little bit more here first. So there's a front entrance. It's got sort of there's this iron fence that goes around, but you can kind of get around it and just go walk around on the inside since they haven't closed the gate up. There is a back entrance. It looks like kind of a storm cellar type deal.
Okay, Teacup will definitely try to use the storm entrance. That way it's around the back. That way you don't have to really worry about the front. Especially making... So, yeah.
So you're going to quietly break in and try to find the pipe organ and get it out of there.
Right.
Then again, it's villainy, so once again, you're rolling 7 dice.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, let me see if I can see that.
Okay.
All right, 12. Excellent. And once again, 2 here. Nope. Yep, you're good. All right, so you're going to be successful at this. You get down in there, and there you will find it under a tarp. So tell us how you're getting this thing out of here without being seen.
That'd be a good thing. That's what I was just thinking. Teacup's gonna try to go through the front after. Plus, it's daylight, so they're gonna have about average strength since Teacup's inhumanly strong at night, but not in the daytime.
Yeah.
So Teacup's gonna try to will it as best they can, type of deal, and then kind of like pull it instead of just lifting it, type of thing. But of course, Teacup tries to lift it, but it's like, no, stupid Daylight. So, willing it, type of deal. Looks at the entrance where they broke in at the storm entrance, and then it's like, So it begins to will it to the front, type of deal.
All right.
And then goes out the front as best they can.
Okay, so you're gonna succeed. So I think the question is kind of, do you just sort of do it while there's like this point where someone drops some papers and they're turning and they're just sort of looking, and you just pass behind them.
Yeah,
pass
behind them.
This massive thing.
And then it's like, the Benny Hill music kind of plays, type of thing. So yeah, totally just goes through and it's like,
Excellent. And sort of the last, as you're sort of heading out, you sort of hear one of those like, what was that? And you sort of look around, and it must have been my imagination. It goes back down to doing papers.
yeah.
So yeah, you wheel this massive thing out, and you just start wheeling it toward the theater. And we will go around to Stormy. What are you doing?
Well, Master, I have an important question first.
Yes.
Is it raining?
That's an excellent question. I think once again I'm going to leave this up to a flip of the proverbial coin, because one is yes rain, 2 is no rain. It is raining. It has begun to rain.
So, Stormy skips down to the village and she finds her good friend Dog, who is naturally outside the baker's house barking his head off, because that's where Dog always is. She says, Dog, it is so good to see you! And she throws her arms around, gives him a little hug. In good news, Stormy can talk to animals.
And that's right. That's right. And so, no, just sort of leans down. Yes. Wait, let me find Dog. Okay.
Dog, you are such good dog, always waiting for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not a lot happening around here, so I thought it would be good. You got food?
Always. And she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out it's like a dry cookie. It's real dry. But there's no chocolate in it because chocolate is bad for dogs.
Yeah. Important safety tip, folks. Just sort of looks at the cookie and just sort of like, oh, I couldn't possibly. And takes it and
Doug,
chewing
you
it
have
up.
to help me. Master has sent me on an important mission.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
I have to find a good memory. Do you know where I can find one? Squeeze your ears.
Let's see. So, this is actually more. I was going to introduce this in a moment, but let's go ahead and introduce it now. This is a thing where you're kind of sort of using this to you're making a connection with an NPC. In this case, or you've got this connection already. You already have 1 point of love for them, and we'll go ahead and as this kind of an overture, you gave them a cookie. So this is going to be reason minus self-loathing. So that leaves us with -1. So that's 1 die basically. It's just going to be if you end up with nothing or 1 or below, it's going to be 1d4. Okay.
3. I roll as well as I possibly can because I love Doug very much.
Yes. And I must now roll fear minus reason, so I must roll 2 dice. Okay, so here's the deal. So he's like, you gain a point of self-loathing and a point of love because you did not. As you do, you
Doug,
do this.
you
Dog
give me
is like,
such confusing messages.
And he's just sort of like,
Oh, next time
It was
I will
very
remember
dry.
the
It
milk.
was very dry.
Yes, I'm sorry. Next time, milk too.
No, I can't remember anything. Oh, no.
Oh, that's okay, dog. She scratches up. I'm going to go see if I can find Douglas. Have you seen Douglas?
He sort of looks around. What does Douglas do? Does Douglas have a job?
Douglas is tall and strong. I think he is probably like a carpenter, maybe like a lumberjack, that kind of
Excellent. He's like,
werewolf hunter in his spare time. You know,
these
that
things,
kind of
yeah.
guy.
Well, there is a bit of a werewolf problem that's in these parts. It's that season, so yeah, he's off. He's off working. He should be coming. He should be coming home in about an hour.
Okay, I will wait for him. Isn't the rain wonderful, dog? And she sits down in a muddy puddle.
All right. So yeah, let me actually make these numbers that you can. Let me actually do this so that you can actually change these numbers. That was. Oh yeah, that was Tashi's. So your self-loathing is 4 now. And so yeah, I'm not sure how to give permissions on numbers, but I will figure it out one day. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that out there.
You can all use the text tool.
Yeah. But folks can feel free to fill these numbers in if they so desire, as they go. I can't even remember which font I was using. Doesn't matter. It's all right. Everything will be fine.
It's okay, master. Nothing you do is wrong.
Nothing at all. So, in our next group of scenes, something I just want to make sure you have available. What Stormy just did was try to make a connection with an NPC that, whether you succeed or not, that does increase your total love score.
I also imagine as she sat in the puddle next to Doug, we watch Teacup wheeling the organ past and back up the hill.
I think
Hello,
so.
Teacup!
I think that's a must.
Hello, Stormy.
Master will be proud of you.
I know. And it's raining now, and it's day.
Oh, yes.
Yes, isn't the rain beautiful?
It makes the organ slippier.
Oh no.
So it
Well-
doesn't really work.
Teacup, I am free for an hour. I could help you push the organ back up the hill.
Will you? That'd be great.
I must be back in 1 hour, though.
This shouldn't take that long, hopefully.
Then I don't think this is me resisting Master's commands at all. I think I am helping with all of them. And she will help Teacup with the...
Yeah, you clever. Yeah, no, you're no longer compelled. You have, you very sneakily managed to turn your that die roll into a roll to increase your love. So, it's good to know we're already thoroughly exploiting the system.
But yeah, as Stormy stands up, she's got like the heart shape on her bum in mud, where she's been sat in a muddy puddle, and she's just gonna help push the organ up the hill.
So, you folks are pushing this organ up the hill in the rain. As we go to our next sort of round of scenes, this is essentially sort of how it goes. It's like you can jump into each other's scenes if you want. It's totally fine. But it's going to be just going to keep going around. I wanted to make sure you have time to do other things if you want to do other things. So we'll say that you have each completed your tasks at this point, or as best as you can. Yeah, you either completed or not completed. So let's see. Bilgor has brought... actually, no, let's do this in character. So you're making it back to the theater. You're all making it back to the theater. As the organ, it's under a tarp, hopefully. I don't know. Is it still under a tarp, or did you take the tarp off before you started pushing it?
I would think that Teacup would have lifted the tarp to make sure that it was the organ, and then put it back, and then pushing it because Teacup has learned, or maybe remembers, or not. Is it the master that only can't remember, or is it also the minions as well?
The funny thing is, when you have a master who is capable of extracting other people's memories, it's really hard to know. But theoretically, it's just the master.
Okay. Well, it just made sense to Teacup not to have the organ deemed or anything. So yeah, totally put the tarp on it.
Okay, cool.
But that's why it's even slipperier, because it's the tarp and it's raining on it. So it's like.
So you folks are wheeling this in, and Bilgor and Eli have returned, and he's just he's sitting there. With his cane, essentially. He's switched to a cane. As he's sort of sitting in the front row. He's like, right, now come show me, what have you brought? What have you all brought?
Yes, Master, I found this. It looks like a bass, some sort of large fish, on a placard.
This?
Yes, they talked very highly of it. The man seemed to love it very much. Something about children and fishing in memories.
It's
a little chip.
Useful. We shall have to see. Memories of fishing aren't going to necessarily be what I need when I complete my final film. But we shall see. Perhaps it can be bent in an appropriate way to get the desired effect. Perhaps. We shall see. We shall have a look at it. Go put it on the table. Eli, what have you brought?
Oh, Master, I've brought you a sheep.
Yay.
And he holds up this kind of lumpy, misshapen carving of a sheep.
Is that a sheep?
Master, the old man said it was.
He slowly picks it up and looks at it. I suppose that is what sheep
He's
look
9,
like.
so he doesn't whittle very well. But he was whittling it for a little girl.
Ah, I see.
Because
Whistling,
yes, so it should be filled with the memories of his love for the little girl.
Ah. Now that could come in handy, yes, definitely. Especially if there's any fear that that love is going to be betrayed. That could be quite delicious. Yes, put it on the table. Stands up, turns around. Ah, Teacup, excellent. You've brought the organ. Good. Wheel it over around to the orchestra pit, would you? Get it down in there.
Okay, Master. Okay. Teacup, do it.
And as you're sort of wheeling it around, and you're sort of looking, trying to figure out how you're going to get it down into the orchestra pit. That's going to probably take a little while. And then he just sort of looks as finally sees Stormy on the other end of the piano. He's like,
Don't worry, Master. I am going back from my memory in about 15 minutes.
Isn't that kind of you to assist Teacup? Why, do you think they can't do it themselves?
Oh, Master, Teacup is very capable. I was pretty worthless, but I had nothing to do for an hour.
Nothing to do for an hour? Oh, I'm terribly sorry that you feel as though you've had just not enough to fill your time. Perhaps we can remedy that.
I am not clever like Eli. I didn't think about the gifts.
Go out and fetch
Master.
2 items.
2, Master?
Yes, of great significance and memory.
Okay, Master.
You have time. You know that your time is, of course, something you have in life is precious to you, so perhaps we'll give you the night to get that done.
Thank you, Master. You're most gracious.
Indeed. Do you want to resist that or no?
No.
Okay. So.
Why would I want to resist Master?
No, why? Why would you?
Master
Who
is
in
so
their right
kind. He
mind?
gives me another chance, and I get 2.
Exactly.
That makes me twice as good as all the other minions.
Yes, of course.
And it's rainy, so I'm happy.
Well, yes, that also helps.
But it only makes her half as effective.
Interesting point. So, we're going to do another round of scenes, but so this way, this is sort of represents that you've kind of gotten things set up, and the Master's been working on those items that you've brought in, and is working on the projector. So while that's going on, you do have some time to do some other things, so we're going to do another round. I think just to keep things simple in my head and make sure I'm not skipping anyone, I'm just going to keep the same order if that's all right with everybody. So, Bilgor, do you have something you would like to do?
I'd say I guess that's getting late, and I'd probably
this evening.
either visit my sister or my friend Gerald in town.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So, your sister Jasmina, or it's your sister? I thought is it? Okay, so you wrote Sister Jasmina. I thought that for a moment I thought it was a nun, but it's your sister.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay, excellent. More pain. So who do you want to go see?
Let's go see Gerald.
Okay. Well, Gerald is probably in the bar. It's not too late yet, so he's probably not completely, 3 sheets to the wind. But you're gonna come in at the tavern. Basically, there is a certain amount of raucous singery going on, as is wont, since night has fallen and the lumberjacks are back from their preliminary werewolf planning meeting. So one has to prepare for these. Werewolf preparedness is a very important aspect of life in this town. So they're all sort of hanging out, and they're singing various songs about cutting down trees, and there is someone playing a little rinky-dink piano, and Gerald is sort of sitting at the bar, drink in hand, just sort of going back and forth. It's sort of a Germanic type song, so there's a lot of this sort of swaying back and forth with the drink in hand, as is their wont. What would you like to? But then when you come in, things fall a little quieter, and sort of people are just sort of give you a wide berth, and as this is going on.
Yes. So I'd walk up to Gerald and so, good friend, I see here, do you mind if we lament about our troubling days?
And Gerald, about how old do you think Gerald is?
He'd probably be like late 50s.
Okay. Yes. Well, there's plenty to lament, I suppose. Certainly. What do you wish to lament about?
Oh, just the usual. Life always seems to be filled with misfortune, and dealing with the superiors as usual. Always doing these hard tasks, tripping over everything.
Yeah, so still irrevocably clumsy, eh? For some reason, I'm imagining Gerald is more educated than I had than at first. But let's go with it. Sorry, go ahead.
Indeed. Are you still missing the missus, Gerald? I know that's been weighing heavily on you.
At this point, I think we're going to have your roll. So this is, again, for making an overture. This is going to be reason minus self-loathing. So your self-loathing is 3, so it's still just going to be 1 die.
Is there an intimacy bonus because they already have a relationship?
That's a good question. I'll give you the intimacy die on that. Yeah. So you may also. So what you're going to do is it's just still your regular number of dice, but when you're going to get an extra die in the roll when you click the roll with intimacy button.
I did have one question. Do we all gain self-loathing for completing our tasks as well?
Let me see here. Commit active. Yes. That's an excellent thing. Let's see. Yes, you did. You each gained self-loathing for that. Thank you for looking at that, because as I'm trying to do the thing. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yep. Well, actually, yeah.
Reason.
Yeah, you each got self-loathing, I think, on that one. For different reasons. So, yeah, you'll go ahead and roll with intimacy.
So, let's see, how do I figure that out?
Just press it's the same as hitting the roll button. Just press the roll with intimacy button and just 1 die.
1 die, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Luckily, 4s rolled on the intimacy die still count. And let's see. So that's versus. Yeah, I just noticed that people still have the dichotomy here. Fear minus reason is 2, so still 2 dice. I need to declare a couple of these NPCs as innocents. That'll help out. Okay. Failure. You still gain a point of love on your Gerald connection, but you also gain a point of self-loathing. So your self-loathing has gone up to 5, and your love is up to 3. And Gerald is like, can we not talk about that tonight, my dear boy? I don't think it's a good idea. It's
my apologies. I always seem to put my foot in my mouth.
A letter came in this morning, and I can't. And we'll leave that scene there. As we let's see, we'll do. I think we'll probably do one more scene, and then we'll take a break. I think, if that's all right with folks. Let's swing around to Eli. What's Eli doing?
Eli's going to go see Fanny the cook.
All right.
Because it's getting on late in the day, and Eli realizes he hasn't eaten today.
That's yeah. Apparently, people are supposed to eat during the day at some point. So yeah. So you said that she cooks for pretty much anyone who wants it. Does she actually have like a business of some kind, or does she have a stand?
I've been thinking about that. I think she's a baker.
Baker. Okay, excellent. So she has a bakery.
Right. Meat pies.
So you head to the bakery, and
I go to the back because I know she doesn't like for me to go to the front.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and so a number of things could be baked, and you see that she's as you're coming out, you see that she's got like is about to. She's throwing something away out back, and putting it in a bin. You're not sure what the contents.
Is it heavy? Does it look like it's heavy?
It looks like a little bit. She doesn't look like she's having too much trouble with it.
I'm gonna try to help her with it.
And she looks at, thank you, dearie. As this is going in. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Do that as the overture. So yeah, you're once again you're rolling. Actually, I'll give you a chance. Do you want to build up to it using any of these intimacy, desperation, or sincerity?
Oh, I think I'd like to build up to it with probably Probably actually sincerity, because I think
Okay.
Fanny might be the only person that Eli actually likes.
Okay. So she says, thank you so much. It takes a little while to get all of them out in there. And you hear these things. You can't see them, but you hear these sort of wet thuds as something's falling in the bin. And she says, so what brings you out here as if I didn't know?
Well, I was just stopping by to see if you needed any help with anything.
Not looking around for secret ingredients again, are you?
Oh, no, you told me not to, so I don't.
Good. We don't talk about that, do we?
I'd never tell anyone the ingredients that you use.
No. It's our little secret. Yeah, okay, I think that'll go. Yeah, that'll do. Go ahead and roll with sincerity. And it's just one die, basically, because of how well, actually, no, wait, hold on. Let me reread this, make sure I know what I'm doing, because occasionally I don't. Yeah, reason minus, this is, yeah, no, it's going to be a negative number no matter what, so it's, right now, so yeah, it's one die.
Okay.
Plus roll with sincerity, so you're getting a d8 too. Okay, and I roll 2 d4s, and excellent, you succeeded. So you have gained a point of love, and let's see, on your Fanny connection, and she will, as you're saying, she says, so let's see if we can get something for you to eat.
Oh, thank you, Fanny. You're always so kind to me.
I've made some pies recently that are very interesting, and then we've made some very interesting confections. Depends. Do you want the special confections or just the regular ones tonight?
Whichever you think best, Fanny.
Let's see what we have in the cabinet. As we go and see what we have in the cabinet, you're going to come home with a little. She's going to send you home with a little bag of what seem to be rum balls.
Okay.
But she will feed you.
Oh, good. Good.
Prior to that.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you.
Now, I think what we're going to go, since we're around halftime, we're going to go ahead and take a break, about like 5-10 minutes or so. And whilst we recalibrate, and I recalibrate my villainy scale, and we shall return in a wee bit. See you shortly. We have returned! We are back, and we are going to do more scenes, and just sort of see where this thing goes. So, the organ seems to be working. The pipe organ seems to be working okay, as we can hear in the background. Who's playing this right now? Is it the master, or is someone else playing this right now?
It's not me, Master. I am very busy in the village.
Yes.
Not me, or else I would break the organ and make Master angry.
So it's probably
I'm busy with these rumbles.
So it's probably Professor Caravelle sitting there playing this as this is going on. So seems to be going pretty well. So, but back to this for a bit as we're continuing scenes. Teacup, what would you like to do this evening?
I imagine after situating the organ and everything, they have a cup of tea type of deal, and then goes about outside the theater, kind of meandering around. And I want to either encounter Walter or Susie.
Okay.
Type of deal.
So let's see. It is evening time. It'll probably be easier to find Walter, but you could, for Susie, you'd probably have to go to her house.
Okay.
But you still try to do either one.
Let's go ahead and do Walter, since it'll be easier.
Okay. Walter has been gathering up his things and is sort of heading to his hovel. He's got a sack over his shoulder. These, just sort of going with, and he's got his stick out that he's using to determine, where things are as he's walking along. And who's there?
It's Teacup, Walter. How are you doing today?
Teacup, yes. Doing all right. I feel as though could be better. I lost something. It's rather unfortunate.
What did you lose? Maybe Teacup can help you find it.
Perhaps. I don't know. It is difficult to say. I looked all around and couldn't quite locate it. It was a carving that I made. I was making it for Abby, and unfortunately it disappeared. I just put it down for just a moment, and that poor girl worked so hard.
Do you want Teacup to check your bag?
I suppose you. It isn't in there. I don't know. I think. Do you want to? By the way, but do you want to? Do you want to play? Go through a little longer and go for intimacy, desperation, or sincerity, or just do a straight roll?
I can do intimacy of sincerity, because Teacup really does like Walter, since Walter, when he does ask for help, says please type of deal. So
are you going for intimacy or sincerity?
Let's go ahead and do intimacy.
Okay, yeah, that'll be close. So very careful. So let's see. So to get that across, let's do this a little bit longer.
Okay.
Let's say, well, I suppose if it will help. I don't know. I checked over it so many times. He sort of is starting to set the bag down.
Okay.
It's a carving of a sheep.
Carving of a sheep, you say?
Yes.
Teacup kind of nods and kind of
Which he has no idea you're doing, but go ahead.
yeah, type of thing, because I think it would help. But kind of like gonna go through the motions a little bit because they kind of know what it is, type of thing. Because I'm sure Teacup has seen the carving of the sheep in the
Oh yes,
in the theater, so type of thing. So
you know exactly where that sheep is.
So kind of goes through the motions, type of thing. Kind of like rummages a little bit, and then stops. You're right, Walter. It's not really there, but Teacup can go look around. Where were you at earlier?
Oh, I was in my spot by the marketplace.
Okay, Teacup will go. Teacup will go look for it a little bit, and all. Do you want Teacup to help you carry this back to your home?
That would be very kind, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Yeah. So now, go ahead and roll with intimacy.
Okay,
So
that
it's,
would be
1 die.
okay. So, number 1, then okay. So yeah, or did I do that right?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I have no idea what I was looking at for a moment. I rolled
Okay.
2 dice. I'm thinking about declaring Walter to be an innocent, but I'm not going to do it yet because
Okay.
I just want to roll 2 dice right now. Okay, so you get the point of love. You also get a point of self-loathing.
Okay.
No matter what you do, you can't seem to console Walter about this. He feels like there's nothing that can be done, and he feels like he just ends up stopping your conversation because he doesn't want to burden you anymore.
Okay.
He kind of tells you to drop it, and he just goes with his. But he thanks you for helping him carry his load, and he takes it from you and goes into his hovel.
Okay. Okay.
And that's that scene. Stormy, what are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to make Master happy. I've changed my accent. What am I doing?
We're suddenly on a different continent. Sorry, go ahead.
Suddenly somewhere else. Master sent me to get two. So I am gonna go down and I'm gonna go see if I can find Douglas.
All right. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, Douglas is going to be. He's probably coming home after hanging out in the bar for a while, for a little while with his fellow lumberjacks, but has. At this point, I mean, it's been like an hour roughly, ish. So we're playing with time a little bit.
So Stormy is sat outside of the inn. There's like a little fence that you can tie like your ponies and dogs and sheep to. And she sat on that, and like her legs are swinging, and the rain is pouring down, and she just looks so happy.
Yeah. So you see Douglas come out of the bar, just sort of wearing his flannel shirt. The axe thrown over his shoulder. He's kind of coming out because apparently they took their axes. They take their axes into the tavern in this town. It's that kind of town.
Oh, the things keep going missing.
I
Master
know, right?
keeps picking them,
I
so
know.
they have to keep things
Exactly.
close.
So,
But shh, this is secret.
about how old do we think Douglas is?
Douglas is old enough.
Okay. Well, we know. Okay.
I'm guessing he's probably, I don't know, like early 30s, late 20s.
Gotcha. All right. So he's coming out. Oh. Hi.
Douglas, it is good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you as well.
I had a good conversation with Doug earlier, and he told me that you would be back very soon, so I waited for you.
Oh. All right. How you
Douglas, I am in trouble.
doing? Oh dear. You can't have that. What's going on?
Master is disappointed in me because I didn't bring back a good memory, and now I have to get 2.
Memory?
I don't know. It's a funny idea that he has. He has us collecting things, and he needs memories. Do you have any good memories, Douglas?
Oh, so he wants stories, that kind of thing.
Sort of, but they have to be really good ones. And he likes it if they're stories that connect to an object.
Oh, I see. Well...
Because memory is a kind of magic, don't you think? They take you back to another place.
Yes, I suppose you're right there. Yes, I suppose you're right. I have no idea what Douglas's voice is like. We're working on it. Yeah, go ahead, and I think you can roll with sincerity here.
Yay!
And it's again, it's 1 die because Jim didn't check the math before he started running this game. All right.
6.
And Jim, Douglas is not an innocent. Jim will roll 2. All right. So yes, you get it. You gain a point of love.
All you need is love.
That's all you need. Apparently, love is all you need. The things about it is, this is actually sort of is this. This is very. I hear this Caravelle fellow is very demanding. This is probably very important.
Master is very
for you,
difficult to
isn't it?
please.
All right. Well. Yes, I suppose I can. I suppose I can give you something. Yeah.
Oh, would you? That would be so good of you. I promise I will look after it.
Certainly. Let's see here. Hold on. And he's sort of fishing in his pockets. And he produces a knife. That's not like it's not like a big massive thing, but it's actually it's very sort of clever. Like they've been starting to make up in Switzerland. This thing where you can just sort of take the knife and put it in, and then you can pull it out. It's on a little hinge.
That is very clever.
Big
Douglas.
wooden sort of handle that you can collapse the knife into.
How does it work? And she's like springing the knife up and down.
Oh no, it's you. Oh no, you just it's easier to carry that. It's easier to carry that way, you know. It's just so you can carry it in your pocket without making a hole in it. But that was something given to me by my. Oh yeah, my father gave me that on our last hunt that where we went out trying to bag some of the the wolves, you know, and that's really the last time that we were able to do anything together, you know. It's his one of them got him.
Oh, Douglas, and she like throws her arms around him.
Oh, he sort of pats you, know. I mean, he's still out there somewhere, but you know, it's one of them now.
Well, next time you go on a hunt, you call me and I will help. Just yell up the hill. I mean, the big house at the end.
I just might do that.
Or you can tell me when I bring you back your knife. Ping!
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, so you've got the knife. You've got a memory object, and
One down.
One down. And I think we're just going to keep going, and we'll sort of see where this goes. What does... let's see, it's getting pretty late, so the master is working late into the night, laboring, and you know that in the morning he will give you new tasks to perform, so it's going to take a bit of
I have
time.
an idea where I could find another object.
I'm gonna go around
really quickly.
Well, we're gonna go. I'm gonna do one more quick round, and just to see briefly what folks are doing with the rest of their night. Bilgor.
Yes, I assume at this point I'd probably have left the bar since it's getting so late. You'll probably find him sleeping on the porch as he slipped on wet rocks instead of raining, and possibly dreaming of his ill-fated words that he said to his friend.
Ah, yes. Torment. Deep torment. That said, would you like to try to find something interesting while you're asleep?
Well, since Gerald's on my mind, I'd probably think it'd probably be related to him.
Okay. Yeah, this will be interesting. So this is basically the this is kind of gonna the end results be sort of a and this is an Inception crime. So we're going to use you're gonna roll fear plus self-loathing, so that's gonna be your self-loathing currently is 5, if I've got that right. So that's 9 d4s. Okay, there we go. And let's see, that's versus reason, which is 2. And I will roll 2 dice. And I will not get an 11, but you know, one wants to see what the difference is sometimes. So, as you're thinking about you're thinking about Gerald, and you were talking about bringing up the his past with who was it? Did we say their name?
I just refer to it as the Mrs.
The Mrs. Yes.
Yes.
As she ran off, and you're thinking back, and you sort of find yourself in this dream, looking in through the window at Gerald, just sort of embracing someone, and he hands her this shawl that looks like it's been very carefully crafted, and it's a very well created shawl that she hugs to herself. And then time seems to pass, and she sort of hangs it on a hook, and then the room is empty. It's just Gerald sitting in a rocking chair drinking, and the shawl is still sitting there on a hook next to the front door. And it seems to glow with great purpose. And that's your scene. And Eli, what are you doing for the rest of the night?
Well, Eli is going back into town because, well, Eli is convinced that Master is not really following the right course, as it were. Thinking that items will allow him to get memories, but what he really needs is a person. Take memories directly from a living subject.
Yes. Surely that will please him, yes.
So I'm going to bring him a living subject.
Excellent. Who are you Let's see. You just looking around for people, or is there someone? Do you have someone in mind?
What I would like to do is find someone who is relating a particularly powerful memory.
Ah, yes. So, this is interesting because let's see. So there are 2 different roles before violence against an NPC or villainy against an NPC, and I'm trying to decide where kidnapping falls into. I am thinking that we'll go. Yeah, I'm thinking that we'll be using we'll probably go with the violence.
Okay.
I think for that one. But before we actually make a roll, let's figure out who this is. Someone with a particularly good memory. So it's pretty late. Folks can't really. Folks are in their homes right now. So you're unobserved. So you can. So you just sort of how are you finding this out?
I'm eavesdropping at windows.
Excellent. So you sort of sprint from house to house faster than the naked eye could see, or ever will, because this only works when they're not looking at you. And you're able to cover a lot of ground pretty quickly. Let's see. Who are we going to victimize here? I think we're going to. There's so many choices. I think that. We're gonna. For particularly good memories. Where? Hey, hey, Wild, tell me, where does Jasmina live?
Probably on the outskirts of town, as we can't afford a place, but I sent her my stipend.
Yes, the nearly non-existent stipend that the master gives you. On the edge of town, sort of in a little cottage type thing. What does she do? Does she have like a day gig?
She would be a seamstress, something that.
Oh yes, she knits these wonderful shawls and other things that she sells in the marketplace. There's no. Yeah, actually, it's not quite, and that's how you were able to recognize the craftsmanship of that one. You didn't recognize that one in the dream, by the way. It's not one of hers, but it's a way to see it. Okay, but anyway, sorry. Back to Eli. So yeah, there is, as you're looking in windows, you do see something. You see this. Jasmina, older or younger sister?
Younger.
Okay. So you see this girl who might be up in early 20s, maybe, and you see that she has something actually looks slightly familiar about her. You can't put your finger on it, but you see that she's got a lot of kind of cloths hanging from things, and looks like she's a seamstress. But she has, in particular, you see, before she is going to bed, she goes over to this. She doesn't have a mantle per se, but it's a sort of a little area where there's a shelf that's on the wall. And on it, there's a little sort of wooden model of a spinning wheel. It's a very small spinning wheel. It looks like it could be functional. In fact, she's got a larger one in there, but there's the smaller one that she just she kisses her fingers. She goes on it, and then she seems to talk to it for a second, almost, and she's just sort of looking at it. Then she turns and she goes in, and it looks like she seems to pay that a lot of attention. That seems to be important to her. Very important.
Okay. Then I'm going to take her and the spinning wheel to master.
Excellent. Good. Okay. How are you getting in? Just front door, window, or?
Oh, I'm gonna go in through the window, of course.
Okay. You gonna wait for her to go to sleep first, or are you just gonna snatch and grab, or what you doing?
I think I'm going to throw a big bag over her head, all the way, it goes all the way down, and just then throw her over my shoulder, and with her in the bag.
All right. So, as she's getting ready for bed, something like that, or something like that. Okay. All right.
We've already established that I'm adept at people not noticing me.
This is fair. This is very true. Okay, so this is going to be fear plus self-loathing. So your self-loathing score currently is 4? So it's 8 dice. And I'm going to be rolling reason plus. You don't have any weariness, so I'm just rolling 2 dice. I guess I could declare her an innocent, and we really haven't seen very much of her yet, so I'm just going to roll 2 dice. All right. So yeah. That's very good. So you're in there, and this is even before she starts. As she's just about to get ready, and then the sack goes over the head. Do you knock her unconscious, or is she struggling in the bag?
Oh, she's gonna be struggling in the bag.
Okay, she's like. You grab the spinning wheel, and you head out with a moving sack, a struggling sack over your shoulder.
If she struggles too terribly much, I'll thwunk her on the head.
She does seem to be terribly upset that this is happening, and she is making noise.
Okay, then I'll thwunk her on the head.
So yeah, probably. Okay, she no longer struggles, and you've got a nice surprise package that you're bringing to the master. So let's move on to Teacup. And what are you doing this evening for the rest of the night?
How late does the master stay awake?
It's hard to know if the master sleeps, really. Okay. But the master does. Yeah, so there is a point where the master does. And I think the master sleeps. The master sleeps somewhere in the rafters. I think there's a little sort of green room type thing, or up in the. There's a little prop room up there.
Okay, is there also a toy store in the village, or any type of...
There is definitely a toy store in the village.
Okay. Can I roll like a 2 on one or the other that I want to do? I'm thinking of either going to the toy store to try to find some sheep type of toy, and swap it out, or just try to snatch the sheep from the theater type of thing.
So I guess the question is, you're looking to. So do you want to replace the sheep at the theater?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, let's see. This is. Yeah, we'll do this as villainy against an NPC. So that'll be since that's what you're going for, it'll just be that one roll.
Okay.
And so again, it's fear 4 plus self-loathing of 5, so that's gonna be 9 dice.
9 dice, okay. And
it's an 11, and versus reason, which is again 2, 3. No, yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So yeah, you manage to. When the master is not is no longer playing the organ late into the night, basically has gone off up into the rafters. You replace the wooden sheep with a different wooden sheep. Looking at it, you can kind of tell it's not made by the same people at all. It's actually much better carved. It's very sort of more assembly line, as it were. Though we don't have assembly lines yet, but as Henry Ford is. Still quite a ways off, thankfully. But you've got a different wooden sheep down there on the table now. And you now have the original wooden sheep.
Okay.
And
so,
sorry, go ahead.
Teacup's definitely. I don't think Teacup can make it to Walter right now, can they? Or that's going to be like another round.
Walter's is probably asleep right now. But I would probably break that up into a separate scene.
Okay.
If we want to do that, we will say that, for the time being, Yeah, you know, Walter kind of wants to be left alone right now.
Okay,
Probably
okay.
best to wait until morning.
Right.
And we'll come back around to Stormy.
Okay.
What is Stormy doing before the night's out?
Since everyone went out, I'm gonna change what I was gonna do. Stormy is gonna go back to the castle, the house. I forget which we live in, and she is actually gonna go to the kitchen and she's gonna set down the knife to one side and she's gonna bake a cake, and she is gonna get the thinnest of the candles she can find because birthday candles are not a thing. And she's going to arrange them in a smiley face on the cake. She is in a good mood. And she is going to put it on the little... she'll put it in the dumbwaiter first so I can get up to the right floor. And then she'll wheel it up to the master's booth, which is probably where the lighting controls were. The spotlight, maybe. Master?
So, okay, so you're going to go and make them... And, I am meditating.
I promise it won't take long and it will be much better.
After a moment, see, you hear, you hear a couple things, the door opens.
Happy birthday to Master!
He looks down, he sees the cake. He looks up. Is that cake one of the significant objects that I sent you to find?
It will be, Master. But it is not done yet. We have the rest to do. And she's going to push the tray and push him back into the room and force her way in.
Oh my god! So, once he sees what you're doing, as you're coming into this cake, there's the tray, and he's just sort of looking at it. Are you seriously trying to forge a memory?
No, Master, there is no forgery here. It will be a memory. Not a fake. Real.
The original memories... This will not help us at all.
No.
This will not help us because the memories are used by the process. And I am not using any more of my own.
But Master, it
Take
will be
this out of here now.
Twice as strong because both you and me will remember.
Are you resisting the command?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going... This is glorious. This is just roll your love score in dice.
Okay.
Okay. And your self-loathing is 4, fear is 4.
I can never roll this well on Magic Missile. I got shenanigans.
I know. Magic missiles of love and self-loathing. Let's see. I'm rolling 8 dice. Nope. You are compelled to obey. As the master stares you down. You are too sentimental, my dear. This is not what we are doing. This is a distraction from our work. Unless you have an object of significance.
She's blowing out the candles on the cake.
And it says, unless you have an object of significance to give me, take this out.
She drops the cake and it goes on the floor with a splat and she reaches into her skirt pocket. Happy birthday, Buster. And she holds out the knife and it's tied in a little bow.
He sees
with
it.
a little ribbon. is the last memory of someone is a good one.
He takes it from you and just looks at it. At least you've done something of value. Very well. Clean this up. Let's see how good this is. And he heads out down to the projector.
But Master, I'm so confused. Do you want me to leave or do you want me to clean?
See if you can do both at once, eh?
Okay. And she gets the tray and she pushes the cake along with the tray. So she's both leaving and cleaning. And there's just a smear of pink icing along the floor.
Oh, so much sadness. Ah, it's delicious. Okay, so that'll be that evening. The next day, the next morning, when morning comes, it is not raining the next day. So it seems that the master has been hard at work all night, and preparing things, preparing items, rebuilding the plate to the side of the to the side of the projector. Now is looks more like a cage that he's erected, and he has on the table there is so as he gathers you all the next morning, Eli has probably gotten in not too long ago with a special bundle, and do you bring the bundle with you to your morning call, or do you
bag over shoulder, little tiny, spinning wheel in hand?
Excellent. Okay, so
and when Eli sees the cage, he's like,
it's a fair, it's big enough.
I'll deposit the bag in the cage.
Oh, you put the bag in the cage. Nice. So the master is again sitting on the edge of the stage, his cane in hand, sort of tapping it. Right then. We're going to see how things work, but first, so we're going to see how things have been pieced together here. And Eli, are you where do you put the spinning wheel? Do you have it in hand?
I'm holding the spinning wheel, but I put the bag in the bag with the girl in it.
So I'm going to say Bilgor immediately recognizes that spinning wheel. You know exactly what spinning wheel that is. So let's see. The master's going to just sort of, as he's looking, he says, doing some extracurricular things, are we? I see that.
Well, Master, it occurred to me that perhaps a fresher memory might be more effective for Master's research.
Could be.
Open the bag.
Yeah, so there's an unconscious woman inside.
I brought you a living one.
The master just sort of hops up off the edge of the stage and walks toward the cage, looking down. Who is this woman?
Oh, I don't know, Master, but she was being very curiously affectionate with this.
Holds up the spinning wheel.
She seemed to have fond memories of it.
It is an interesting thought. Perhaps that could work. Let us, we should test it. We should definitely test it. Let's see. Teacup, would you wheel over the other items? I've got them on the
of course,
tray
Master.
over there. Yes.
Of course. Teacup takes it and wheels it over.
So yes, there's this tray on which the newer items have been positioned. If Jim remembers correctly, it is a fish trophy, a small wooden sheep, and let's see, were there other items on there? Well, there's a knife. There's a pocket knife. I think that's all we have so far, yes?
I think so.
Okay, and the spinning wheel now, too. But that's over here. It says, so to test it with this individual, I had thoughts about this. I did think that perhaps it might be easier to simply tear the memories directly from a subject. So that will be very interesting to try. So, that will require some recalibration, unfortunately. So first, let us simply see how these memories work. Let us use the regular method first. And he tries each of the items in turn in the cage.
Stormy instantly is nowhere to be found.
Ooh! Oh dear. Dear. So, each of the memories... So the Master is still too distracted right now. Each of the memories does seem to yield these very interesting things. You see a father fishing with his kids. With his kid, you see a father hunting with werewolf hunting with his son, and then there's another item that was the Jim can't remember three things at once apparently. Oh, the spinning wheel. The spinning wheel is the last one they use, and it's kind of weird because Bilgor is in this memory.
Yes.
Is this sort of what memory do we see when the spinning wheel gets projected?
It would probably be Yasmina picking her first scarf. You know, something. You know, it's very ratty, but you know, it's the first thing she tried really hard in it, and she hands it over to Bilgor. So. And
just sort of looks from the Master just sort of looks from the spinning wheel to the projected image of Bilgor. He sort of stops the projector, and it's just his Bilgor's image frozen up there on the screen. And he looks at it, looks at the spinning wheel, looks at the girl, looks back at Bilgor.
While he was looking at the memory, could I have tried to help Yasmina escape?
Let's see. Well, I guess this counts as an act of villainy against an NPC. I guess we'll use that. I don't know if it's possible to commit an act of villainy against the Master, but we'll have to see how this goes. Because there's not really. I think there are rules in there about not acting against the Master in that way. It's you can't really turn against him. There's a lot of fear here. I think I'm going to have to treat this as a roll to resist a command. I think that's what we're going to have to do here. So this is going to be your love score. And I'm going to be rolling fear plus your self-loathing. So I'm going to be rolling 9 dice.
So that would be 3 for me.
So your self-loathing is... Yeah. Well, you've got 5... well, no, hang on. What am I looking at? Hang on. Love minus weariness. Yes, 3. Sorry. Brain. Not here anymore. So fear plus self-loathing. I'm going to roll 9 dice. Oh, no. You can't do it. The master will be very displeased if you do that. And in fact, as you're trying to, as you're starting to try to kind of watch, he sort of turns around on his heel as you've like got her up, kind of at your shoulder, and he just sort of turns and he looks. I believe an explanation is in order. You know this woman, I take it.
Yeah, she's my sister, Master.
You have a sister? Really? Interesting. This is a very strong memory that your sister possesses. Very strong indeed.
Please, Master.
Quite what... It's exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for.
Just not Yasmina.
These memories are the only way I can gain vengeance against the guild who took my own. I cannot let this go.
Well, surely, maybe if I could, maybe I could find something from them in particular.
We'll take good care of your sister during her stay here. Fear not. Now put her back.
And I just look over to Yasmin. I'm like, I'm sorry, sister.
And she's like barely conscious. She's like not really. She's like, yeah. She's not very conscious right now. She's still kind of. And is just sort of looking around while this is going on. Where is Stormy?
Stormy?
No, well, he's saying that to the others.
Like a cutscene for the audience.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Stormy is walking through town. Her dress is covered in mud from yesterday. Her mascara is running down her face. And she's like a snotty, sniveling mess. Her tinsel is all wilted. Must not disappoint the master. And she's feeling compelled to clean up, go away, and find the second item that she was sent for. And that is what she has been doing since Master told her to go away.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we briefly cut back to the, we're going to cut back to the theater. And the master looks around and, did any of you see where she went?
Ika says, no, Master. No.
No, Master, but I'll go find her for you.
Good. Initiative. This is good. Yes. You go do that. Now, as for the rest of you, he looks at he picks up the wooden sheep, and he looks at it, and he says, you should do that because this is of no use. He throws it over his shoulder. You're lucky you brought in another. And
I'm already going to go find Stormy.
Okay, so that's you're off to do that. And he says, Teacup.
Yes, Master.
See to it that our guest is comfortable, and guard her.
Yes, Master.
Bilgor, he says, I sincerely hope that you've been doing all you can to pull your weight around here. I do hope that you had an enlightening dream last night. Did you?
If I must, Master, I can find a memory that is better than this.
Excellent. So if you've a lead on something, go and get it. This
Yes,
will,
Master. Right.
Good. We are very close now. Very close. Soon I shall have enough to, shall we say, edit any memories I wish to, and have a complete collection of what I need. It's very important to indulge every now and then in malevolent laughter. It's healthy. It's good. Okay, so going around, I have I think it was a thing where I was starting with Bilgor and going around again, but I think I'm going to change my mind capriciously again. Since Stormy's got a head start, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with her this time, if that's all right with folks. And we'll continue going around. Stormy, what you doing?
Master, I'm sorry. That's all night. This is all the villagers have had all night.
Yes, we know. You're very sorry. Now get on.
And I find my way to the wishing well, and I climb in the bucket, and I lower myself down.
Oh my god.
I am filled with sadness and self-loathing.
Oh.
And this only serves to make her sniveling all the louder as acoustically it echoes around the stone of the wishing well. And now the wishing well is sobbing.
Oh my gosh.
See, Master, I will collect you all of their wishes. And from the bucket, she would like to start scooping up from the icy depths of this well handfuls of the coins and various other objects that have been scattered in here as wishes from the villagers.
Okay.
Never have I felt so bad.
So, I think what I'm going to do here is, you've got a bunch of coins right now, so
I think this one was mine.
it's hard to really know which ones are going to be good and which ones are not, but you can gather them up. And at one point, though, you hear sort of echoing down from the top of the well, "What are you doing down there, love?"
I'm collecting the wishes for Master.
There are people who want to use the well, dearie.
If you pull on the rope and pull me up, I'll be done very quickly.
And there's this very quickly and rapidly the back of the bucket starts lifting up, and you see it's this old woman who's seems to be very formidably built old woman who's like wheeling it up. She's got an apron on, so she starts wheeling that up and gets. And then Jim was suddenly distracted for a moment as he fixes the cameras. No, this
and as
old
soon
woman
as
is basically there, and extra points for Val for being able to stay in the same frame. Awesome.
As soon as Stormy's at the top, like completely sodden once more, still, she just throws her arms around this woman and just sobs.
Now, dearie, that's all right. It'll be okay. Tell us. Now, Now, tell Fanny what exactly it is that you need here.
I baked him a cake, and we were going to make such beautiful birthday memories.
Oh, I see. I see. What kind of cake was it, dear?
Pink.
But
Because I loves master.
Well, I suppose there is. Well, now I would like you to go ahead and this is connecting to someone else, but multiple people can share the same connection if they so desire. If you like, you can make a connection.
I can borrow Fanny.
If you like, you may make a you may make a connection roll.
Sure.
And it's going to be again it's one die because math. You can use sincerity though, so you can roll with sincerity on this because you told her exactly what's going on. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. So you got a 7, and I will roll fear minus 2. It's still 2. It's always 2. All right. 4. Okay. So you may up your love by 1, and she says, "Well, dear, let's see if we can get your kit sorted out here, and see if we can make something a bit better." Yes.
Before we go, she reaches out and she grabs like one of the pennies. You should make a wish, so there's still one wish in the well.
Oh, I don't need to use the well, dearie. I've got a way of making my own wishes come true.
Okay.
She takes you to the bakery.
Ping. She
will,
pings the coin into the well. There should be wishes in a wishing well.
There should. There totally should.
And she wishes that Master will be happy.
So she's going to take you to the bakery and show you some and basically work on. There's some sort of cake models and stuff there. You're going to come out of this with something to bring back, basically. Sort of a presentational thing that on something that has some significance to her. Like it's one of those things where it's not a real cake, but it's sort of a model cake. But the wishing well coins can be. She sort of you sort of stand there and she puts them in on it, so that it looks like it's was meant to do it.
It could be like an old school Christmas pudding. You put the lucky penny in it. Only this is an entire cake of pennies and other miscellaneous objects that went in the well. Yeah,
totally. She seems to be doing something else over it when she's baking it. But it's it's hard to tell what it is. That's what you're doing. Bilgor, what you doing?
I guess at this point, Bilgor would be waiting until he would know that Gerald is at the bar, so we could find his place.
Okay. Well, it doesn't. It probably doesn't take long to find Gerald, because once again, it's. I mean, if he's not at the bar, then he's going to be somewhere else drinking. Usually, there are a number of spots, so it's not that hard to locate. I mean, the tavern's probably open all the time, so yeah, he's probably there. Let's be realistic here. Taverns, it's a small town, but tavern's probably, so around like noon, we'll say, tavern opens. So you make it there, and Gerald is just kind of hunched at a table. And wait, and so you get to you basically see him there in the corner, kind of like just like.
Right. Okay, so I'll walking up to him and be like, Gerald, sorry to ask you about, but I must know whereabouts do you live?
Whereabouts of what? What's that?
Do you live? Where is your home?
I just I got an apartment above the haymaker.
Yes, thank you, Gerald, and I'm truly sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. I'll just walk out hurriedly.
What are you going to go do?
I'm going to go steal the shawl.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to commit an act of villainy. So this is once again that roll. As he tries to find the place on the chart once again. Fear plus your self-loathing currently is 5, so 9 dice. Okay. And I got so so that's you basically got you head up there. There's a little set of stairs going up behind the haymaker's barn, where you see that there's that window and everything. There's sort of platform out there where you look in.
Right. But because I'm not around any friends, every step creaks as I step on it.
Yes.
The door seems to fall off the hinges as I'm opening up. I try to take the shell down, but it snags on the hook.
Yeah, you kind of snag it a bit, but you get it though. You're gonna get it.
And it would be very obvious that I'm stealing something.
You'd think, and yet, but because you succeeded so well at the roll, you're gonna get away. So, it seems as though no one seems to notice. And anyone who notices you as you're leaving, they don't pay you any mind. They do. I'll say that you're seen, probably, but no one does anything. And you have the shawl. We're gonna move down to Eli. What are you doing?
I was going in search of Stormy.
Yes.
And on my way, I'm going to grab a blanket because I know that Stormy is always wet.
Okay.
Because she has this thing for being out in the rain.
Yeah. So you get a hold of a blanket, and
it's probably a moth-eaten kind of ratty old blanket, but yeah.
It's probably not too difficult to track her down, especially if no one's looking. It's fairly early. There are people about, so in the main thoroughfares you have to walk at normal speed. But then when you get into the alleys and stuff, you can dart around real quick. Mm-hmm. And eventually, you note you find out that she's at Fanny's place.
I'll go to the bakery, go in through the back like I always do, which probably takes me right into the kitchen, which I believe was where they were.
Yes. So you're coming in just as Fanny is putting she's putting final touches on some kind of sort of big giant plum-looking thing, and she's putting a sort of icing on top of it. And she says, "Oh, hello, dearie."
Oh, hello, Fanny. And seeing Stormy by the fire, because she said in the chat that she was talking to Fanny's cat and drying off by the fire.
Yeah.
And seeing how she's already gotten dried off and warmed up, I'm just kind of holding this blanket, kind of like, and I'll try to hide the blanket behind me. Stormy, Master wanted you.
Master? He says I can come back?
Well, he sent me to find you.
Fanny, is the cake ready?
Yes, dear, it's about done. There we go.
Oh, this is wonderful. She looks outside. It's a shame it's so sunny.
She says, "Oh, yes, I know, dear, but, well, that's the thing. It always rains eventually."
I like that saying.
Yeah.
We should put that on a plaque above the door.
And if not, there's ways to call it down, yeah? Eli, you do know enough that you do know that any objects that, if you're not sure if that's what's going on here exactly, but you do know that any objects that the master is going to use will remove the memories from the original person once they're processed. Just so you're aware.
Right.
But yeah, so she hands the cake down to Stormy.
Okay. I'll wad up this blanket that I was carrying and like stuff it into my pocket or something. Probably a bit of it trailing out forlornly.
Thank you for coming to find me, Eli.
You're welcome, Stormy.
I made a cake with Fanny. And she holds it up proudly.
It's a lovely cake, Stormy.
Okay, we better go. We better not keep Master waiting.
Right.
You lead the way.
He trudges off into the distressingly, bright sunshine.
Yes. You're hearing his little parasol above him. Teacup.
The teacup is going about trying to make sure that the cell is properly set up for the what's her name?
Her name is Jasmina.
Jasmina. Okay.
So yeah, you're getting that set up, and you see that she becomes conscious as you kind of she's starting to come around, basically.
Okay.
And have you put her in there, or are you setting it up before she's in there?
I believe I've already set it up really well, so she's basically in there with me.
Okay.
So if I see her coming to, I can just place her like in the on the cot type of thing.
Okay.
And then oh,
And she's like,
you're awake.
"Where am I?
You're here with the master.
What?
Yes.
I was just going to bed. What happened?"
Things. And then
Who are you?
Teacup. Who are you?
I'm Jasmina. What? Did you? I was hit. I was in a sack.
No.
Have you kidnapped me?
I didn't. Someone else did. Teacup's job is to guard you, though. So don't try to run away or Teacup will hit you. Hard.
Like, look, I don't know. Am I at the theater? She's looking around. Oh God, I'm at the theater.
Look like the theater?
This is where that insane man Caravelle is hiding out. Do you work for him?
Teacup shrugs and says, yes. And then that Lasker offers her a teacup with tea in it. Says, would you like some tea?
Can you let me go?
No. Master told me to make you comfortable and guard you. So that's what Teacup's gonna do.
Okay, so I think we're gonna let you roll one die with sincerity here.
Okay. Oh, did my self-loathing go up for swapping out the sheep?
Oh, you succeeded on that.
Okay.
And so yes, you did gain a point of self-loathing.
Okay,
Sorry.
so it's 6. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Still trying to keep. Yeah, everyone, please let me know anytime if you see that the number's wrong, and we'll up the number, or we'll deal with the number.
Okay. Roll of sincerity. So is that D8 plus
And one die.
1 die? Okay.
Okay. I think we're going to. I'm going to go ahead and declare that Jasmine is one of the innocents here. So I'm going to actually give her 3 reason dice, because the reason goes up wherever an innocent is.
Okay.
And still, of course, not enough. But yeah, that's you do gain a point of love.
Oh, okay.
For that. And yeah. So let me get down here. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm just updating everyone here. Okay. There we go. And so yeah, you basically you make her as comfortable as you can, but she's not gonna be she's gonna stop trying to get away at this point. And so coming around here, yes, okay. So everyone, the master will be once again sitting and playing the organ. Let's do that a bit. And as you folks come in, you make it back to the theater. You see that in the he's taken one of the chairs, one of the theater chairs, and he's strapped a bunch of things to it, including a helmet. And he's attached it to the projector on the opposite side of the cage. And as he's coming out, basically he stops playing, but we'll keep this going for right now. It's like the organ is playing itself. He says, "Right then. So, yes. Bilgo, you have something?
Yes, Master.
Good, excellent. What have you got?
I have this shawl. A shawl is of great importance to one of my friends.
Excellent. Good. This will be very useful. And there he goes, and he sets it down carefully on a tray. Eli, I see that you are successful. Good. What are you carrying there, Stormy?
Master, it is your wish day cake.
Did I not say we were leaving that nonsense behind?
This one is full of memories and wishes. They're baked right in, and Fanny said she made it extra special for you. Eli, you heard her.
Oh, yes, it's true, Master.
Huh. And I suppose we can give it a try. Go ahead and set it on that table there. Teacup, will you fetch our guest?
Yes, Master.
Master?
There's something we want to try.
What happened to the knife?
Oh, it's very been put away in a very good place. Those memories have been harvested, and it's going to do quite well. It's fitting into the final cut.
But because I promised I would take it back to Douglas when we were finished with it.
Well, I doubt that we shall be finished with it for some time. But it could happen.
Master.
It could easily happen. I'm going to give... Now, since you've brought back the cake, and you see Teacup is bringing in Jasmina, I am going to, however, give you, Stormy, the opportunity to renew yourself in my good graces. We are going to see if our we're going to try that little theory of Eli's and see how much more effective the memories are when we rip them directly from a subject's mind.
Master, no! That is mean!
But it is going to be very effective. Now, take this young lady and prepare her. Put her in the chair and make sure that she is securely fastened. Do you wish to resist this command?
Which one of us are you commanding?
He's telling Stormy to do it.
Stormy doesn't want to do it. Yeah, she's going to try and resist.
Okay. So this is your
But Master, I
love
brought you the
score.
cake.
So you're rolling 5 dice.
Okay.
And well, actually, hold on. Before we do this, do you want to try to bring? Actually, I think we've already got the potential for desperation. If you want to use that, so we can do that, or you can try to do something to up it with sincerity.
I think I'll look around to the other minions and try and gauge how they're feeling about the situation that's going on.
Other minions?
Well, I want this to obviously end as soon as possible. I don't know.
Yeah, Teacup wants to get out of there and get the sheep to Walter, so they really, kind of like going like, yeah,
Who is this lady, Master? Why didn't you ask a minion?
Because you have more experience with the equipment.
Master. And she looks sad. And she'll try and resist. I didn't know if I could push her to be desperate, but she definitely would much rather. Master, why don't you have faith in my cake? I went all the way to the bottom of the well, and I got that 1, 2, 3, 4, many wishes, all the hopes and dreams, and money, all the memories of all the things that they bought with the money, all the things they'd like to buy with the money. Money makes the world go round, Master.
The cake shall be tested in due time.
But surely the cake first, because do you not remember the snow globe, Master?
Just put her in the chair, please. And,
no!
Well, let's see. You're rolling with sincerity.
Okay,
and
with
so
sincerity.
It's,
and it's
your love score,
5?
so it's 5. Yeah, 5 plus sincerity.
This is the most I've gotten to roll all game. 18.
Okay, let's see what the master rolls. I get your self-loathing is 4, fear is 4, so I get 8 dice. $15. Okay, we have triggered the end game, folks.
No,
So,
Master.
here's what happens in the end game. End game is triggered. Oh yes, I left myself a note to read this aloud. So, end game. Stay on that page, damn it. Yay, PDFs. Endgame is a climactic series of scenes that culminates with the dramatic death of the Master at the hands of a minion. It is triggered when a minion successfully resists a command from the Master. Sum total of love is greater than fear plus their unweariness. From that point forward, the Master's fate is sealed. The triggering minion and the Master are locked in a violent conflict that will likely comprise several scenes. We're going to intercut back and forth. When the above happens, the GM suspends conflict. There was something I just wanted to make sure I remembered in here. Okay. Anything terrorizing of townfolk or anything you want to do, you can do that without the benefit of fear. So fear's out of the equation here for effectiveness there. All right. Just for the master, that's the only one for him that works. And so, yeah, let's. You can also help each other during this if you so desire. Those are things you can do. But yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a vignette here, as the townsfolk at this point. There's not a huge amount. What this master has done is kind of subtle, but so they're not carrying pitchforks and torches, but there are some concerned citizens who are coming to the theater. Let's just simply say that. So as this is happening, we're going to go around and let's see. Yeah, so we're just basically going through a number of scenes. Yeah. So, how does this? So, what is Stormy's reaction to this whole thing? What does she look like she's about to do?
I think Stormy would reach out and she'd try and break the setup of this theater chair with like the helmet thing. She wants to break the setup. This is not what we're doing.
Okay. And what does it look like Bilgor is? How is Bilgor going to react to this? It looks like she's starting to do something. She's resisted the master's command somehow.
Seeing this happen, Bilgor would immediately run to assist her.
Okay.
Try to get her out.
What is Eli's reaction going to be to this?
Eli is going to move between the master and Stormy.
Okay.
Because he wants to protect Stormy.
Okay. And what is Teacup going to be doing?
Teacup's gonna be letting go of Jasmine because Jasmina, because they're just shocked that Stormy's arguing with the master. So, yeah.
Okay. So, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do the conflict roll. So let me just look at helping here. It looks like Stormy is getting help from both Bilgor and Eli in this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be so it's going to be love, and on this side you A to PC contribute love minus weariness and dice. Oh, okay. So Eli and Bilgor are contributing their love dice to this roll. So that's 7 more dice.
All you need is love.
So you get, an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stormy, you get 12 dice in this conflict, as you are attempting to tear this chair asunder. The master is going to be rolling fear plus your self-loathing, and so that's going to be 8 again. All right.
15.
Okay.
I did not roll well.
Let's see what the master gets. Master got 8. Okay. So, in this conflict, you are going to smash the chair. The master tries to get at it, but Eli's in the way. Bilgor is grabbing Jasmina, sort of pulling her out of the way. And you hear there's this knocking at there's a sort of banging at the front door, as there are apparently some concerned citizens have shown up. It looks as though this is,
Master, you have gone too far!
He's pointing out his stick. No! Stop it! And, but you don't seem to have to listen to him anymore. And he's coming forward and trying to push you aside.
No, Master!
Run, Jasmina, run!
She runs toward the front door and to let in the townspeople, basically. Stormy, what are you doing to the master?
She would be fighting him back and probably like hitting him with her little fist and go, "Give me back my knife too!"
So as you're struggling, Jasmina is heading for the front door. What are Eli and Teacup doing?
Eli is grabbing the blanket out of his pocket and throwing it over the master to like a net to drag him down to the ground.
You do that thing. What is Teacup doing?
Teacup is gonna assist Eli.
Okay, all right. So there are no rolls here because at this point, because Stormy is pretty much going to defeat the master here. But there are people now entering the theater, trying to. What is this going on? So how do you finish the master off?
What I imagine happens is we're so busy like bustling and jostling around. Bilgo getting his sister out is going to trip, and he's going to knock the suspending cable for the chandelier that hangs out over the auditorium. The master is going to roll from Eli and Teacup's hand down the stairs, and as it does, just down comes this flaming candelabra and just impales the master.
I love it. I love it. So as we're describing this, let's actually go ahead and fold in our epilogues here, because everyone gets an epilogue as this is going on, as the chandelier descends here. So there are a number of items here. Does anyone have weariness? No one has weariness greater, so number 1's out. Self-loathing greater than love plus reason. Reason is 2. Let's see.
I do. No, I don't have love greater than something, no.
My self-loathing is greater.
So
Same.
I believe mine would be the same as well.
okay, so the three of you have self-loathing greater than love plus reason.
Wait, it's love plus reason?
Yeah,
Or
you're
is it
Love
self-
plus reason?
love. Yeah, I'm looking at scenario 2. Self-loathing would be greater than your current love score plus 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, then no.
Okay, no one has that.
Mine is
Yes,
high.
yes for me.
I'm sorry.
Yes for me.
Yes for you. Okay, so for Bilgor, the minion is killed. So that's going to happen here. Number 3 is self-loathing is going to be, and I'm just leaving out, weariness never went up, so I'm just leaving it out. Self-loathing is just greater than reason. Does anyone have that? Then greater than 2. I think everyone has that.
Yeah.
Everyone has that.
Yes.
Okay. The minion destroys. Let me actually continue to go down the list, though, to see if more than one thing applies. Because it's like the minion destroys itself is possibly that. Number 4, love plus reason is greater than self-loathing plus weariness.
Yep.
Because you actually have a choice, I think, if more than one thing applies.
Love plus reason is greater than self-loathing?
Yes.
Plus weariness.
Weariness is 0, so yeah, love plus reason. Love plus
Love
2.
plus reason? Yeah, mine is greater than self-loathing.
Okay, so you also have the option to integrate yourself into the Society of Townspeople, if that's the case for you. No one has love equaling 0. Self-loathing. Does anyone have their love plus 2 equal their self-loathing?
Nope.
Okay, so hopefully in that whole mess, you folks figured out what's going on. It looks like some of you have a choice to make, either of being killed or of integrating into society.
If it's equal, do I still have a choice or no?
What's equal?
The self-loathing and the love plus reason is
Ah,
equal.
no. Well, that's, you do have that option.
Okay.
It's the minion finds a new master to serve
Oh.
is on the menu there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask each of you what happens to you. And I think we're going to start with Bilgor. So as our final sort of montage here, if this were a film, as it were, what do we see happen to Bilgor?
So as I trip, signaling the candelabra, I end up slipping on one of the errant items that fell off the table into the machine that has just been activated, essentially being electrocuted.
Terrible, tragic. And Jasmina is upset, but she is safe. Let's see. Eli, what happens to Eli?
Eli has a bit of a problem because Eli has seen something in someone that he's never ever seen before, and that is true kindness. And that in very, Grinch-like fashion, his heart just swells up with love for Stormy.
Oh dear.
And he is in love with Stormy. So wherever Stormy goes, unless she tells him to leave, he will go with her.
Oh dear. Interesting. So you are, let's see. And
even though he knows that, he is, misshapen and ugly and unlovable himself.
And so of the options that we had, I think you had to choose between either being killed or integrating yourself into society. Is that what we had, or was there another one that you had?
No, those were the two. So I think his actual outcome is going to depend on what Stormy does.
Okay, well we'll come back around then.
Yeah.
What happens to Teacup?
Teacup sees everything go down, and then eventually gets to be where he gives Walter back the sheep. And since I have the option of, since he's equal, finding a new master and possibly Fanny.
Yes, she's always recruiting. Excellent.
So, yes.
And what happens to Stormy?
I think that she moves into the village with Douglas and they hunt werewolves, and that they obviously welcome Eli into their house, their little cottage, and it's fine. It's not weird or awkward at all.
Not at all.
And Doug also loves Eli.
Certainly. So I think that's I think we've got our answers then. Excellent. Well, there we are. That, folks, is My Life with Master. So that was delightful. I thank you so much for playing, everybody. That was really good.
Thank you. That was amazing.
This time, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying that's just so much fun.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the opposite way from where we started. I can't remember who I started with the first time. I started with Charlie. Okay, so we're going to start this time with Val. Go around counterclockwise. I'm going to ask folks to say what you thought of the game and any final thoughts, and where folks can find you should they be looking for stuff you're doing. So, Val.
I thought this was amazing. It was my first tabletop game I played. I've played RPGs on the computer and everything, but never on tabletop, so it was great.
Cool.
Really enjoyed it. You can find me at V Fergie on most everything except for YouTube. I go by Val Ferguson there, and I'm about to start streaming more here on Twitch.
Excellent. I didn't realize this was like your first ever actual tabletop. I knew you were fairly new to them. I didn't realize this was like your first one.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thank you. I am honored.
Thank you.
And Jib.
You can find me on most social media at Jazz is Blues. You can also find the actual plays that I run on the Happy Jacks RPG podcast actual play stream. We just finished my modern superheroes game set in London.
Nice.
All of that. For those who don't know, I am the author of a game that will probably never see the light of day called Bad Streets, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game of gritty street-level crime drama. But there is a new project that I'm starting up at the beginning of the year, which is a new Powered by the Apocalypse game that I will talk more about later. But there will be new stuff coming.
Excellent. Awesome. Very cool, man. I am so glad we finally actually got to play a game together. That was really cool.
Right?
Yes. And Wild.
Yes, Wild Engineer. You could same name on Twitter. Twitch, not really doing much there yet, but eventually. This game was actually, I thought it was going to go in a dark direction, and it did indeed.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming back and playing. That was very cool. I liked your character a lot.
Me too.
And finally, Charlie.
That was the most fun ever. I was so convinced like I wasn't gonna kill Master because like that wasn't Stormy's goal at all. She was just going around being honest and doing what she was told to. There we go. That's English. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had a blast playing with this crew, and I would be so down to play another game, another time, in another place, maybe with another master. Yeah, this is a very fun system. I've never played a system with a similar mechanics, so pretty damn cool. And yeah, thanks for having me and inviting me, and I'm glad we got the scheduling worked out so I can play.
I'm so pleased about that. That was really cool. It's just very awesome. It was so awesome getting to see how you did that character, and just it was. I think I knew pretty much off the bat this was going to be cool, and it very much was. I loved all of your characters. This was beautiful.
This was a ton of fun. You guys are an amazing group to play with. I would more than happily play a game anytime, anywhere with you guys.
I have one tiny thing I'd really like to plug. Tomorrow on Off the Table at 12 p.m. EST, which is 5 p.m. UK, we're playing Bluebeard's Bride for the first time with Kiana, Laugh of Lindy, a whole bunch of people who are amazing tabletop role players, and I'm so excited. It's going to be dark. It's going to be heavy. But I'm very excited about it. So, yes.
I'm slightly biased in this, but yes, Off the Table is awesome in everything that they do. So, yes, I very much suggest folks check it out. Once again, back to me. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. This was awesome. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimmyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube, and such. This Tuesday night, I'll be over on Off the Table, playing in the season finale of their Urban Shadows game. And my character Frank is marked for death. It seems like pretty much everybody wants to kill him at this point, so we'll have to see how things play out. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. But on this channel, on Friday afternoons and Saturday mornings, I play video games. Every other Saturday, we play The Cold Ruins of Last Life, which is now taking a break for the holidays, but we'll be back in the new year. But 1 week from today, we will be playing another one-shot using this same system, but it's going to be very close to Christmas, and I wanted to do something special. So next Sunday, we'll be playing My Life with Santa. It is very likely going to be wrong in every conceivable way, and I am very much looking forward to it. So when we head off, I think I'm going to try to do a raid on Grimjack's channel, Grimjack21502, as they're running Project Athena again, I believe, as it's come back, and they're getting closer to the end now. So I think
this is actually their season finale, their mid-season finale, no?
I thought it was. I wasn't sure exactly when it was.
I think it's mid-season finale.
Yeah, it's either very close or is the finale. So definitely, this is. So if you like Call of Cthulhu, please check it out, because he does awesome stuff with that. Greg does over there. So I'm going to go raid there after we go to the end card. But in the meantime, thank you folks so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you all of a sudden.